Hi everybody, welcome back to the Straight White Male channel. I wanted to talk about Pride for the month of June. And before we get off in first, I do not hate LGBT. I have no problem with them. I do, on the other hand, have problems with the specific parts of them and things that they do and actions that they take with their organization. And we're going to get into that as well. Um, First off, to start off with it, I think it's really funny that one of their main things that they like to do on social media is do the whole spread love, not hate, even though absolutely 100% they are more toxic, more hateful, more retarded in senses than I'd say straight people. And when it comes down to it, is what I'm talking about, of course. They're never spreading love. I never fucking see that. I have never fucking seen that. I used to have lesbian roommates back in the day, and I loved them. They were like my little family because they had one of them had a kid, and I really loved that kid. But these two girls were the most hateful, horrible people I have ever met, and I say that as kind as I can, without going to sound so hateful towards LGBT or whatever. They constantly cheated on each other. They were constantly doing drugs. They were constantly beating each other up. But they'd always tell me like, "Oh, you need to spread love." They always said one of them always said that to me. The other one was just kind of like, "I thought about killing myself, but I didn't do it today." But she was never gonna do it. She was just wanting fucking attention. That's the thing. And I know somebody might disagree with me on that, but it's the truth. Like she's told me, she just wants attention. Now the other one would, like I said, always be like love, not hate. But this bitch literally beat the shit out of her girlfriend when I'm in the living room trying to watch Danny Phantom. And this is just another Tuesday for me at that point because I've been with him for like 6 months. She was beating the hell out of her over a cell phone, and all I did was just turn the volume up because I didn't want to involve myself with this anymore. Now, I know there's going to probably be some people from the LGBT who are not like this, but for the most part they are, and they will call you homophobic or whatever if you have any kind of opinion on it if you're not included into their little organization. Now, onto the organization, as since we're on that point, it's only got 4 letters, LGBT. Anything else is just ridiculous and does not need to be added. Because now we have asexual people, which are just people who don't want to fornicate with anybody. So now they have to be included with the LGBT because asexual is now a sexuality. It's not. It's just a lack of one. But I mean, you could still either be straight or whatever. You just prefer not to mess around with anybody. And somehow this has to be a new door, a new reality, a new dimension opened up where you have to be categorized with an organization that is very disorganized on its own. I think it's funny now you can't be bisexual because it's inclusive to people who want to have a made-up gender they found out on Wikipedia or Google, and it's now you can't be male or female anymore because now transgender doesn't mean a fucking thing. Because you know what transgender is? It's whenever you're a male and you want to transition into a woman, or a woman who wants to somehow transition into a male. I think it's easier done with the other one than it is for the second one. But it's literally going from point A to point B, and these people are like, I'm non-binary. And that's another one I can't fucking stand, is non-binary, because that makes no fucking sense. You're like, I'm not male or female. I'm like, yes, you are. Yes, you fucking are. I don't understand why people even do this shit. Again, I guess it's because they just want to feel special in their own way, because they're like, I'm not original enough. I have a lack of a personality, so I need to invent one. And my entire personality is actually going to be what I identify as, whether or not it's a raccoon or a lack of gender. And I think that's very stupid. And it kind of bothers me because, as I've said in other videos I had before, my girlfriend is bisexual, and she does not feel like she can associate with these people because they're out of their fucking mind. And she also does not like the fact that her sexuality, which is included with the LGBT, it's literally the 3rd letter in the goddamn name, isn't supposed to be a reality anymore, isn't supposed to exist because it's not progressive enough or it's not inclusive enough with the other genders that are just made up on the day. There's a new one every day. I actually made a video before where I came out as void gender because I decided, you know what, I want to have a piece of this cake too. So I picked the most stupid one I could find, and it was void gender, which is literally your gender identifies with the fact that you don't like people. That is not a fucking gender. It's so stupid. I think there's a big problem with what's going on with this, and a lot of people aren't going to like what I have to say because I'm a straight white male, and I'm sorry for that, but this is just from my perspective, They're a very disorganized organization. You can't say or do anything outside of like their like new laws or whatever they have with it. Not a law, but you know what I mean, a little policy. If you go against that, you're now homophobic or you're not gay enough or whatever. And I think that's really stupid because you're like literally giving the middle finger off to a lot of them. Another one that you have a problem with is the fact that they're all pretty much left wing. So you can't have any right wing LGBT members because they're just a disgrace to the organization that in itself is not very organized at all. People like Blair White, as I've said in other videos, where she likes to host conventions for her fans to go up who are conservative. People of her own organization will literally try to cancel her and stop her from doing it because they don't like what she has to say, because they don't like that she admits that she's biologically male, and they act like, no, that can't be a thing. You have to say that you're a real woman, despite the fact she can be standing up with a sharpshooting aim. Again, I know it's going to sound like I'm being really rude or whatever to it. I'm not anti any of that shit that are actually real. I just have a problem with all the bullshit ones that come along with it and that are trying to piggyback off of the years of oppression that the actual LGBT people had, dealing with like Stonewall and all the marches that they had to do. And now we get Pride Month, which is, it's okay. I mean, who cares? You're going to get your whole month to celebrate. That's great. What I also don't like about it is you have all these fucking marches with a bunch of half-naked men who are just strutting around with their dicks flapping around, but it's okay because they painted it gold or something. And these people bring their fucking kids to these things, which I don't think you should bring your kids to any convention, especially an LGBT convention for Pride, because you're going to have a bunch of half-naked fucking people, and if they're willing to do that, which I'm just going to assume that they're pedos at this point, because why the fuck else would you dress half-naked to a place where you know there's going to be kids? That's not a sexuality, that's just you acting like a goddamn circus clown in the streets, but it's okay because it's like your month to celebrate or whatever, I guess. I hate that. I really hate that companies like to do the same, where they throw the fucking rainbow flag over their icon to show that, hey, we're a part of it. We're on your side, guys. But nobody thinks about this shit, that they're just pandering. And the thing that's even more ridiculous is the fact, especially because it's like with this thing with Black Lives Matter right now, where every company's like, we're against racial profiling or racial injustice and shit. Everybody's saying that they are, but nothing's gonna fucking change. And if all these people were against before, why did it take them until it's like trending or whenever it's actually like happening right now that, oh, we have to actually show our support right now because we want your money? And people eat this shit up. They're like, oh my god, Walmart loves me because they put the rainbow flag over their icon on Twitter or my Facebook. Oh, Chuck E. Cheese, thank you for being so nice towards us. They don't fucking care. It's so stupid. It drives me up a fucking wall. I hate it. I hate it so fucking much. It's like this is Black History Month too. But again, I can't say anything because I'm a straight white male and my opinion doesn't matter on this kind of shit, which is stupid in its own. But I'm just calling out from my perspective of what I'm witnessing with my own two front fucking eyes. And it's really, really stupid. It's really fucking stupid. And I feel bad for these people who have actually had to suffer for years, people who've actually got disowned by their families, people who have suffered, been kicked out of their homes, had to live in the streets, perform sex acts just to get money, just to fucking survive. And it's all watered down now because a bunch of people my age and below have decided, you know what? I invented a gender when I was taking a shit in the bathroom, and this is what I identify as now. And you're a bigot if you don't believe that. Because I just half believe it myself. I was washing my hands and I thought of it myself. I was like, you know, I want to be a statue gender. That's what I want. My gender involves with me just being an asshole. You know, just shit like that. And it's just so fucking mind-boggling to me. And I think the worst fucking part, I'm going to wrap this up. The worst part is you got straight allies a part of the LGBT. Because you know who wants to be a part of the LGBT? Straight people. The whole point of the LGBT is to be the opposite of that. It's for all the vagabonds. It's all for like the people who don't fit in with the norms of society. That's what they are. They're literally like I was gonna say the scavengers, but they're not the scavengers. They're just like the last ones picked on the dodgeball team. If you get my reference, they're the people who didn't have anything, so they banded together and created their own organization, and it makes sense. You got the gay people, you got the lesbians, you got the people who like both, and you got the transgenders, which are like going from one to the other, not from transgender non-binary, which is like, oh, I'm not either one, but I'm transitioning. Like, the fuck are you talking about, you retard? Like, you're literally pissing on people who actually have mental issues, like gender dysphoria. You're literally shitting on them because you want to feel inclusive, and I fucking can't stand it, man. Like, the suicide rate is so fucking high for transgender people, for gay people in general, even though it's getting really good for them. And another thing I noticed too, like, a lot of them were like, oh, we're pushing for marriage, and that's fine. Everybody should have the right to get married if you want. But a lot of them aren't getting married. Like, yes, there are some of them that are getting married, but for the most part, they're not getting married because a lot of them still want to go on Grindr and hook up. A lot of them just want to just date casually or whatever. And I think another one too, because my girlfriend tells me about this all the time and her problem with it, what she has to go through on a daily basis, and she has noticed that any woman who comes out and says that they're bisexual, they're normally dating a man. And she, as she's pointed out, they're probably never even been with a woman, and they're just doing that for like social media points or whatever. Now, if it's a dude that comes out as bisexual, he's probably already at that point dating a dude. He's not actually with a woman. So it's kind of like, I don't understand what your goal is at the point. Maybe you are bisexual. I don't know. We're never going to know. I know for a fact a lot of these people just say this shit just to get socially accepted on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram. And it's not very genuine. Like, there are actually ones that do it, and they are being genuine about it. So, you know, good for you. I just think it's dumb and for the other ones, and I think it's really setting people back and not letting them progress. I know it sounds like I'm being very hateful with a lot of this shit, but I'm a sociopath, and I voice and say things on how I feel about it without really investing too much emotion into it, if any. So I'm seeing it for what it is from a perspective of a robot, and it just doesn't make sense to me. So thank you guys for watching. Hopefully I didn't trigger anybody, and if I did, I'm sorry. It was not my intention. It's just my experience dealing with it in general. And if you're not weirdo or anything like that with some of the people I was talking about, if you're generally just part of the LGBT and you just want to have a month to celebrate, good for you, man. Celebrate. Go out to eat, watch your favorite movie, hang out with your friends, I guess online because of COVID or whatever. And I will see you guys in the next video. Have a good night. Goodbye.